Good morning. Hand today is going to be pocket nines. In this hand, under the gun limps and it comes around to me. This is an interesting situation. Villain has raised first in 2 out of 11 times. He's limped first in 0 out of 11. So this is the 12th time from early position that he is limping, or that he's had a chance to limp, and he is actually limping. So the question is, what is he going to do this with? I would assume that this player is raising kind of standard raises, like queens plus, maybe jacks and nines plus, all of those. And that leaves his limping range really weak. And, trying to come up with what hands is he going to limp instead of raise. I almost think it's going to be maybe the lower pocket pairs, maybe some other, like suited aces. We know that it's going to be pretty loose. Now, I did take a note. I didn't look at it, but he did limp under the gun. I have a note on him, so this must be the hand where I have a note on him. And I don't want to look at because I want to look at the hand. I think in general, if players limp under the gun, they're doing so with something that they're not super excited about raising. So maybe, I think 9 or 10, pocket nines or tens are where we're at. I think maybe like these middle suited aces, these lower connectors, I think that's kind of what we're looking at. So then when it folds to me, I think I have an easy raise. I think we are looking at isolating, and we should be always isolating, basically isolating that entire range, raising all of it, and quite possibly even expanding it, increasing the number of hands, because Villain, just by limping under the gun, is acting weak. Now I am going to go back and say, okay, there's a chance. I'm going to say small chance, maybe 25% chance that he is doing this with like a big hand, like queens plus ace king. He is looking at limping and then going for that big 3-bet. And I'm going to throw queens in there. I do think there are some people that will do the queen, so I'll throw it in there. But I just checked, which is, I think, a massive mistake. So I'm just going to do this optional ISO range. I don't like it. I think now it's going to be raising all the time. This is a 25 NL hand, and maybe I was influenced by his stack size, that he only has about 46 big blinds. But I think that's not something we should be looking at. I think if we raise our entire ISO raising range, something like this, and then some, if we add in like your offsuit aces, maybe down to like ace 8, ace 7, we add king jack, king jack and queen jack offsuit. We add some of those offsuit connectors. We add the rest of the suited aces, the rest of the pocket pairs. I think if he comes over the top, we can easily fold those. I do know this is balanced, so if we get 3-bet, we've got actually a calling range. But I think if he 3-bets, most players who are 3-betting after limping have exactly this. So we're going to be dumping a lot of hands. And we only have 65 hands on him. So, who knows how he's gonna play it. All right, so flop comes ace 2 6. We just checked, so I think we check here. Probably go for a check call. I think he does have some aces, but I think for the most part he's not going to have it. When Villain checks, I think we can get rid of sets, 2-pair and top pair. Maybe not top pair. We'll include in top pair. I think we're gonna make that something like 50% or so. Say give 50% chance that he actually checks, 50% chance that he bets. I think sets and 2-pair are betting because of the flush draw that's out there. Top pair, that's why I said about 50% of the time he might be betting. The other 50% of the time he could be checking, planning to call. His c-bet stat's pretty low, so he doesn't seem like he's a super aggressive player post-flop. So we're going to give him all the rest of the pairs and the no-made hands. I'm not even sure if a player like this will be betting, a flush draw. So now we go to the turn is an ace. I think that makes it easy. I think we should be thinking about betting for value here, and for protection. If there's a chance that he has, some sort of, one of these broadways, if our range is screwed up. But if we assume he has some of those broadways, then I think we bet. If not, we just go ahead for value. If we don't think he's going to be betting his spades, let's bet it now. Try to get him to call. Maybe he has a 6. Maybe he'll call the 6, but is looking to check it down. If he has one of these middle pairs, I think we should be betting. And what should we be betting? I think we're betting, all of our pair for values, probably our flush draws, and I think some of our no mate hands. Actually, this could be like 100% bet here, against this player. Pot's 2.4. I think we go to 2.4, almost pot size bet. Just bet big, charge him. I didn't do that, which makes me, again, I don't know what I was doing. Maybe I was just, I'm sure I was afraid to bet, afraid to lose. I don't know. King of spades gets there. That's unfortunate, but I think if we bet and we had the flush draw, now we've completed. If we bet we don't have the flush draw, we could still continue betting. I think based on his range, I'm gonna feel like I'm ahead. So perhaps that's what I was thinking. I think his range is super weak. He didn't connect with this board. It's going to be low cards. It's going to, because if he had the ace, he's already connected. We're way behind. So we're being conservative, checking, hoping that he bets, and he checks behind again. So I show the 9s. He shows 7-4, and I think that's, this was the hand, 7-4. 7-4 hearts. So, let's revise. If he played that 7-4 of hearts, would he play like the rest of these as like limps? Like we'll leave those in there. Is he playing rest of those and maybe like offsuits as limps? If that is his range, then we do have justification for betting, because he has some hands that could catch on the turn, or could catch on the river to beat us, to beat our pair. So there is some reasoning to bet the turn here after it goes check. But this guy is just a weird player. Was I going to get any money from him? Probably not. He would have had to just call. I think he would have called the flop with a backdoor flush draw, and then he folds the turn. So I think this is a pretty uneventful hand. Not sure what else to say about this, because again, I think his range is just really off. We could chalk this up to just an idiot player, or a player doing something stupidly, and leave it at that. Still think mistake that I made was not betting the turn once it went check. We do have a decent hand. Yes, the ace is scary, but maybe he thinks we're gonna bluff and he calls. He calls with, let's say, pocket 8s or pocket 7s. That's entirely feasible, and we need a plan for that. All right, hopefully you enjoy this hand. If you do, look tomorrow for another one.